Seinfeld. I'm talking about Seinfeld.
We're back with another, That's an Episode, a podcast about nothing. Today we're going to jump into Season 8, Episode 10, the Andrea Doria.
Hey! Georgie's moving out! Come check out my new place. Take you 2 minutes.
I can. I'm meeting Kramer down at my mini storage. What is with that? You know, Kramer, I rented out half of my space to you.
Yeah, and I rented out half that space to Newman.
Mailbags?
George, unfortunately, Clarence Eldridge in 8C has decided that he wants the apartment.
Yeah, but you promised it to me.
Yes, but you see, Mr. Eldridge is an Andrea Doria survivor.
Excuse me, Elaine Bennis?
Yeah.
And Alan Mercer called for you. He said he's sorry, but he won't be able to make it tonight.
The guy was stabbed.
Did you find out who stabbed him?
Yeah, it turns out it was his ex-girlfriend.
Listen, I want you to get the mail out of my storage unit.
I didn't get my transfer.
It's a nasty coffee out there. What coffee?
Alan?
Yeah?
Found out he's a bad breaker-upper.
You gonna take dog medicine?
You bet we are. How smart is that?
We're breaking up?
You got a big head.
It's too big for your body.
If this tenant board is so impressed with suffering, maybe you should tell them the astonishing tales of Costanza.
I'll never get to Hawaii. I'll be stuck in this apartment building forever.
Are you taking any medication for that?
Yeah, I got some pills.
Head back. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open it.
The tenant board will now hear Mr. Costanza's testimony.
I was handcuffed to the bed in my underwear. She certainly seemed interested in me. Though she was attractive, she was also, in fact, a Nazi. Stories have not been embellished because they need no embellishment. They are simply, horrifyingly, the story of my life as a short, stocky, slow-witted, bald man.
They knew it wasn't me doing my route.
How did they know?
Too many people got their mail.
Bird ran into my giant freak head.
What giant freak head?
I'm a walking candy apple. All I have to do is call him up and sit down with him and show him that it doesn't bother me.
So you have a big head.
So what?
Goes well with the bump in your nose.
What? Tell the police it's the Old Mill restaurant. Hurry!
She's trying to tell us something. What is it? Trouble? Trouble where? Where's trouble? Oh. Trouble at the Old Mill. Oh my God. Good boy, lead the way. Come on. What are you doing in there?
I'm moving in.
Why? Because you were stabbed?
Just gave the super $50.
Dude, Kramer as a dog is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You want to go for a ride?
Dude, his facial expressions look like a dog.
Come on.
He is spry as fuck too. I mean, like, how old is he? Like during the filming of
He's
this?
gonna be, I'm gonna say he's 40.
I don't know. He's probably. I mean, this is friggin' 22 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's probably like late 50s now.
If only there was a way to figure out his age.
It's funny that I kind of thought of that. Like when the Andrea Doria part comes up, and he he's like setting up the apartment, and the lady comes in. What would be the first thing you would check as you walked out the door in 2019? You'd go right to your phone and go to Wikipedia and be like,
yeah.
All right, what was the Andrea Doria? How many? Yeah, right. You know, like it took him going back to the house and having Kramer say something about the book and everything.
How great was Kramer in the background in that scene? He's just staring off into the distance eating, and then he's just like, Andrea Doria went down, 51 souls lost or whatever. Like, it was just great.
Andrea Doria collided with a Stockholm in dense fog 12 miles off the coast of Nantucket.
The beginning of that episode, I don't remember at all. Like the teaser, like
shoving the bread.
Yeah, like that. I was like, I've never seen this before. I'm sure I've seen it. I don't remember it. But it's weird that I don't remember something in Seinfeld.
Yeah, sometimes I was a little quick at the beginning of it.
Kramer did a good job on that. It didn't look like there was a hot dog in that bun.
No, I didn't even see meat until like the last bite.
And then there was the hot dog phone that Newman had. It was a very hot dog themed.
Which those kind of phones were big. I remember the SI phone, where
the sneaker,
the sneaker and the football. Like those are like the big thing back in that mid '90s where you got these like big phones.
Those were like awesome gifts too. Like I remember ordering like Sports Illustrated for either the phone or the Michael Jordan video. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, that's totally off subject, but back then, like something like that would
make you
buy a whole year's worth of a magazine because they had a football phone. Like,
how about the fact that just getting Michael Jordan highlights was that inaccessible?
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, what you have a videotape of that's like the first like highlight video I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I also love the idea throughout the episode that the guy that's doing the breaking up just throws a little jab to fucking plant a seed in their head.
See you around. Big head. You got a big head. It's too big for your body.
It's fantastic because I can't tell you this. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's times that somebody will mention something you're not even insecure about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Is my head big?" and then you just start thinking about it, and then you start feeding into all those little weirdo examples, like the being in the cab and your head's too big, or the bird flies into it. Which, by the way, the guy sitting on the bench. It's such a small role. He fucking knocked that thing out of the park.
He flew right into your head, like he couldn't avoid it. Never seen that before. Right into a woman's head.
I don't know why I like that guy so much. Like he hit your head, like he couldn't avoid it.
It's that whole like storyline is so good because it's just like this little tiny thing, and it's just like, oh, the guy got stabbed, and then this lady comes in and throws the hot coffee, and it's like this little thing, but it just gets peppered in enough, and then the big head thing.
I believe that was a bowl of soup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a bowl of soup.
What did you say?
I said a tea or something.
A hot coffee.
Hot coffee. Yeah.
I don't even know who you are. Yeah, and I also liked Elaine's perspective of like, ooh, what is it about this guy that's driving these women so crazy?
Think about it, Jerry. There must be something exciting about this guy if he can arouse that kind of passion.
Like I think that
Likes the bad boy, you know?
there is an element of truth in that. Like women will be like, oh, this guy's he's so full of passion that he drives them crazy. Like I it's insane, but I think that's kind of how the brain works sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
What makes him different than everyone else? Like he's doing something different, even if he's fucked up for it, you know?
Right.
And she's like absolutely glowing. Like
She
she's
is
driving
glowing.
herself like mad thinking about it. Like she's getting moister than an oyster.
I also love that she stuck around and had more bread, kind of like when she bought the Juji fruits when Jake Jarmel was in a car accident.
Yeah.
Well, at least the bread was
goes-
offered to her, and she didn't go out of her
She
way
didn't go out
to
of her
acquire
way.
it.
I don't know why she had to bring up to Jerry that she did in fact eat the extra bread, unless Jerry asked her straight up, but we weren't afforded that footage.
Yeah. But she usually, anytime there's a tragedy, she's always
goes-
going for more food, you know?
Yeah.
She's a bit of a stress eater.
Well, I mean, you never like when you're getting into an emergency situation, it's actually a good idea because you might not eat for the next like 12 hours or something. You know, especially if you're going to see somebody in the hospital.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you squirrel up.
Yeah, what if you go to the hospital and like the cafeteria is already closed, the hours aren't right, you know, all you have to use is the machine.
And you got to do whatever you got to do to get through that stress time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this one before, but I always think this is kind of funny in hindsight. I got run over when I was little, and when my mother got the call, she's like, oh my God, he's been run over. And she's like in panic mode because it was pretty serious. It wasn't like, you know, they didn't know how it was going to go. And she's like, I left my office, and she's like, I got in the car and realized I didn't have cigarettes. And she's like, what am I going to do? She's like, I fucking need cigarettes right now. And she's like, but I'm afraid he might be breathing his last breath looking for his mother, but I need the cigarettes. I'm like, so what did you do? And she's like, I got the cigarettes.
Oh, man. Perfect.
I kind of understand it. In some sick way, I kind of get it. Like, she wasn't going to be able to cope with that.
Without
Art imitates life.
Yeah. I heard that's what Seinfeld looked to when he was making this episode.
Yeah.
But in the Andrea Doria thing, what a great storyline too. I mean, we all know the trials and tribulations of Costanza, but
I love that they were able to make it almost like a series of callbacks. And you know, as soon as he goes into him, and there I was, handcuffed, naked in a bed, and it's like you instantly just start visualizing all these things that he's done in the past.
The water that I had been swimming in was very cold. And when I dropped the towel, there had been significant shrinkage.
By the way, I think that might be the first time we've ever seen the idea of victim culture poking its head into society. Like, oh, this guy had it bad, so he should get the apartment, not you.
Yeah.
So I was watching that. I was like, that's the first time I've seen victim culture. Like, oh, wait, he's had a rough go of it. Let's give you this award. Which, by the way, I could be wrong, but I think that guy was living in 8C, and then he wanted to move into George's apartment, which was 608, which, why would you go letters and then straight numbers? I would think it would be a letter-number combo rather than letter number and just straight numbers. But throw that out the window. Wouldn't George be allowed to get 8C?
That's a good question. I was thinking that. And the other thing.
And what happens? What is the end game with that? Does it come out in the next episode that he didn't get because at the end of the episode he's saying
they're making their decision.
Was there a finish of the? Did we watch the?
No, I don't think it addressed it at all. I think we were just left hanging.
What are you doing in there?
I'm moving in.
Why? Because you were stabbed?
Just gave the super $50.
I stand corrected. My bad. They did address it. Shame on us for not watching the rap.
Another excellent rap. But there was a couple of things that were almost ahead of its time. Like at one point, Jerry offers Kramer a protein shake. What year is this?
It was George.
Oh, it was George. Okay.
But yeah, this was 96, which is, I mean, when do you ever hear people talking about protein shakes in 96? That was kind of like...
You don't, and it was a very bizarre offer.
Yeah.
Unless you were like a super, like...
You're like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Like
super juice head.
Regular humans didn't have protein shakes.
No, we didn't even know what those were back then.
Yeah, normal people weren't having protein shakes on a Tuesday.
That must have gone over everyone's head at the time. Want a protein shake?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's when he left Newman waiting outside. Newman's story didn't really weave back into anything except for, I guess, the dog. Kramer being the dog. I guess it weaved in there. Never mind. I bite my tongue. But I love the fact that he's icing his leg and Jerry's like, what's wrong?
Kramer bit me.
The whole dog thing is a great tie-in.
And like, because Richards is such a fantastic physical actor.
It's unbelievable.
Just every scene, like him on the couch, like trying to take the
pill.
pill.
Jerry doing the pill thing and not even knowing that he's supposed to be a dog. And he's put it down. I would have loved if they hid the pill in something. Like if he was like, hey, why don't you have some peanut butter?
He wrapped it up in a slice of ham.
Yeah.
But and then the keys. Want to go for a ride?
You want to go for a ride? Huh? Come on.
And Kramer's reaction getting up.
And him trying to get him out of the car.
Yeah.
And like,
Kramer in the back seat is great too.
Yeah,
We're not going to the park.
This isn't the way to the park. Where are we going? Recognize this block. You're taking me to the doctor.
They're going to the park. I love that. Like in Kramer's mind, they're going to the park.
I mean, Michael Richards had to be into blow.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the erratic movements.
I wouldn't take that off the table.
Yeah.
I don't have firsthand knowledge, but it seems like a reasonable...
I don't either. I mean, I have no actual data to back that up, but he seems like he's into it.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, if you've ever done cocaine and you can kind of smell it on other people, you're right.
So you're saying he's hip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hip.
I'm hip. Hip to what? The whole scene. Who else was in this? Oh, the guy that plays Alan Mercer, the Elaine's date. He was outstanding.
Yeah.
Small part, nailed it. I wouldn't mind seeing him in like another episode, like maybe like the rap show or something like that. But I felt like he didn't get enough clout for his role. He was a great one-time character.
We may have to get him on a Skype. I'm sure he's not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm sure Mercer ain't doing shit.
I think I saw his name. I think it's Tom Gallup. That should be a Google search. See if we can do that. Actually, that would be great. Let's see if we can get him on.
Yeah, let's get him on.
I mean, I'm sure he's not doing anything.
Yeah, we gotta compile a list of all the bees.
Yeah,
I bet you the bees are very easy to get. I bet.
Oh yeah, they're obtainable.
What do you think Mickey's doing?
I don't think we can get Mickey. He's an A-lister secondary character. Yeah. That's why I go for 6s. They're attainable.
The whole thing with the mail and Kramer, Jerry doing the mail and all that stuff. That's a cool.
With Newman's uniform from his rookie year.
Yeah. The whole whistling montage down the street was perfect.
Mail on a Sunday? Which, by the way, why did they have to dub that in? Did you notice that was like very obviously dubbed in? And it was like, why? I don't. That seems.
Well, maybe they recorded that as a part of the song that they used. You know what I mean? Like the voice was done in, and then the whistling goes off of the voice, like in the actual recording. I mean, I'm a man of the business, so it seems like something that they did.
I wouldn't understand any of your technical talk. And then, Kramer comparing Jerry's 80% mail delivery rate to the 3-minute mile. No one's ever cracked a 50%.
Yeah, nobody's ever won over 50%.
80%. You did your job too good.
You've lost the job. You lost the transfer because you did too good of a job.
They knew it wasn't you. I like the storage when Jerry's like, why does Newman have your key? Well, because I rented half of it out to him. And he's like, and then you open it up and there's just mail bags falling out.
And that's always been like a Kramer thing too. He's always
got something going.
Yeah, like if he's getting something, he's always like trying to sell half of it.
He's trying
to do his side deals.
Just the subtle drop of, oh yeah, you have a big head. It just seems like such a harmless thing, but you're just planting that friggin' that seed. Like if you know that somebody's weak in a certain way, you know that you can kind of drop something that's not going to be a big deal, but they're going to make it a big deal in their head, and that's some devious shit.
There's this girl that I'm friends with now, Kathleen, and
Twitter beep that up.
So there's this chick that I'm friends with now, but the first time I ever met her, apparently I made some comment about her weight, and I was saying it as a joke. Like, this girl is like a fitness expert. Like, she's in fantastic shape. And I made some comment like, oh yeah, that dress is good. Maybe you should get one that's more size appropriate or something of that nature. And I said it as a joke. This was the first time I met her. And apparently it sent her crazy over the top. And
you made her bulimic?
Well, so I didn't know this, but for like 3 months, you know, she'd be hanging around in my friend circle, and she'd always be very bitchy to me. And then one day she came up to me and she's like, you know, I can't believe that you would say that to me. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she told me, and I was like, I'm joking around. You're in fantastic shape. You have like visible ab muscles. Like, I'm like, and she's like, it sent me off the deep end. She's like, I hired my own trainer, even though she is a trainer. She needed somebody to keep an eye on her. And she's like, I went out and bought protein shakes and fat burners. And I was like, you're in shape and attractive. Like, I was saying it clearly as a joke, but it just goes to show the fucking crazy insecurities, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't have any, but I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that you guys are probably
But it's at the very end, too, it's perfect because it's when he says something to George and then he's like, you know, no chin or whatever, and then he's just like,
yeah.
Tough luck, chinless.
you know?
And how funny is it that the whole deal could have just been solved with $50?
I know. I still can't believe that George just couldn't have got 8C. That seems like a reasonable fix to me.
And, I mean, the guy's already got an apartment, really. He has to upgrade? Yeah, he has to upgrade just because, you know, just take what you got and enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that he lost the apartment in general is just a crazy
Apparently, going through that near-death experience didn't make him very grateful, and I find that to be something that I resent in him.
But another classic luncheon with the Costanzas.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't we sit over there?
That's not a booth!
So who says we have to sit in a booth?
I didn't take the subway all the way to New York to sit at a table like that!
But you almost got to think, too, that like this day and age, that probably wouldn't have happened. You know, maybe you'd FaceTime him as something and ask him a quick question.
Oh, yeah.
But the awkward luncheons that George loves so much.
And I feel like they nail this whole, like, I feel like it's like my own family or something, you know what I mean? Like, my father would say something like, where's that draft coming from? Like, you know what I mean? I
love that
then, like, 2 minutes later, like, the other person's saying the same thing, like, they're not on the same page, and, like...
it all comes back.
Yeah, it's just, like, it's so on point.
I did not come all the way to New York City to sit at a table!
At a table like that?
Like the fact that the booth, that's like, you know what I mean? That's such like a Frank Costanza thing that the booth is so fucking important.
But then
know
you
what I
can
mean?
see a vacant booth in the bathroom, or in the background. Like,
Yeah,
over
I
his
know. I
shoulder.
noticed that. I was like, yeah. Although if the draft was there, there's a decent chance the draft would have carried to the adjacent booth.
And it's closer to the door too. So
yeah, that's true. I loved how flippant George is while the guy is pleading his case for being on the Andrea Doria. It's just like, and then he so disrespectfully gets up and shushes him. Move over, get it. And then when he finds out that the Andrea Doria only had 51 people, I believe it was, that died, he instantly, there's not even evaluation. 51. What?
That's it.
Like there's not even, he's not even debating in his. He's like, I already know what I'm doing. Like
you lose 30 to 40 people on a
regular cruise. I'm
51 people? That's it? I thought it was like 1,000.
1,660 survivors.
That's no tragedy.
And then when he goes and he starts taunting him, when he's like, I hear those cruises can be pretty tough. that buffet can be quite filling.
I love too that when he says the final thing about when he's in front of the board and he says the thing about how he killed his wife with the and then the guy's just like
Oh, also, my fiance died from licking toxic envelopes that I picked out. Thanks again.
that was like the ultimate mic drop. like there's no way I'm not getting this fucking place now.
And I love that he throws it as a side thought. Oh, by the way, my fiance died from licking toxic envelopes that I picked out.
Forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Another classic.
That's why we love George Costanza. Well, that's an episode.